Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Thursday, June 14th, 2018. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's baseball action, look at today's baseball action, do my predictions for today's World Cup games as well as the U.S. Open, do my latest NBA mock draft, and the draft is a week away, by the way. And I'll give you guys, with the draft being a week away, my predictions for the NBA offseason. I did the NHL yesterday. Today I'm going to do the NBA. The NBA ones, some of them are going to be wild, so be prepared. All right, here we go. The Braves defeated the Mets 2-0 as they improve to 39-28. The Mets dropped to 28-36. Mike Soroka improves to 2-1. Jacob deGrom drops to 4-2. Arodys Viciano gets his 12th save of the year. Bottom of the 4th, RBI single. Freddie Freeman, 1-0 Braves. Bottom of the 8th, home run Freddie Freeman, 2-0 Braves. That's your final. Mike Soroka had a no-hitter through 6, and he gave up a hit to either Michael Conforto or Brandon Nimmo. Don't remember which one it was. Soroka, 6 in the third innings, a hit, no one runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts in his first game off the DL. Ends the game with a 2.57 ERA. Jacob deGrom, 7 innings, 7 hits, an earned run, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a sparkling 1.55 ERA. It's disappointing that the Mets just don't give him the run support. He's certainly in the hunt for the NL Cy Young, but his team could very well hurt him unless he gets traded to a contender in the National League. And Freddie Freeman tweeted before the game that it was, I believe, the 14th year death anniversary or 16-year death anniversary of his mother's death. So only appropriate of him to hit a home run in this game in her honor. The Rays defeated the Blue Jays 1-0 as they improved to 32-35. Toronto drops to 30-38. Diego Castillo improves to 1-0. Ryan Tepera drops to 3-2. The lone run came in the bottom of the 9th on a walk-off single by Matt Duffy to give the Rays a 1-0 win. Wilmer Font was the opener, 3 in the third innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Leaves the game with a 6.87 ERA. Matt Andreessen relief. 3 and 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.27 ERA. J.A. Happ, 5 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.48 ERA. The Brewers defeated the Cubs 1-0 as they improved to 41-27. The Cubs dropped to 38-27. Julius Chacin improves to 6-1. Mike Montgomery drops to 2-2. Corey Knebel gets his 6th save of the year. The lone run of the game came in the bottom of the 3rd on a home run by Lorenzo Cain to give the Brewers a 1-0 lead for good. Julius Chacin was great. 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.32 ERA. Mike Montgomery, 6 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.31 ERA. The Red Sox defeated the Orioles 5-1 as they improved to 47-22. The O's dropped to 19-48. Chris Sale improved to 6-4. Jeffrey Ramirez drops to 0-1. Top of the 3rd, home run Mookie Betts, 1-0 Sox. Top of the 5th, sacrifice by Xander Bogaerts, 2-0 Sox. RBI single, Rafael Devers, 3-0 Sox. RBI single, Eduardo Nunez, 4-0 Sox. Top of the 7th, home run JD Martinez, 5-0 Sox. Bottom of the 7th, sacrifice fly Jace Peterson, 5-1's your final. Chris Sale, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts. Leaves the game with 2.75 ERA. Story of this game for Sale is that he got ejected after 6 due to him arguing balls and strikes. Jeffrey Ramirez, 4 in the 3rd innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 6.23 ERA. The Pirates defeated the Diamondbacks 5-4 as they improved to 33-35. The Diamondbacks dropped to 37-30. Jameson Taillon improves to 4-5. Zach Greinke drops to 5-5. Felipe Vasquez gets his 12th save of the year. Bottom of the 1st, 2-run home run David Peralta, 2-0 Diamondbacks. Top of the 2nd, RBI double Josh Bell makes it a 2-1 game. 2-run double Jordy Mercer, 3-2 Buccos. RBI ground out Josh Harrison, 4-2 Pirates. Top of the 4th, home run Jordy Mercer, 5-2 Pirates. Bottom of the 9th, 2-run single John Jay, 5-4. Pirates hold on and win. Jameson Taillon, his best start in the Wild, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.94 ERA. Zach Greinke, 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.87 ERA. The Mariners defeated the Angels 8-6 as they improved to 44-24. The Angels dropped to 37-32. Roenis Elias improves to 2-0. Oliver Drake drops to 0-1. Bottom of the second, RBI single, Ben Gamble, 1-0 Mariners. RBI double, Mike Zazino, 2-0 Mariners. Top of the third, RBI single, Mike Trout makes it a 2-1 game. Bottom of the third, 2-run home run, Nelson Cruz makes it 4-1 Mariners. Top of the fourth, 2-run triple by David Fletcher makes it a 4-3 game. Top of the sixth, sacrifice fly, Luis Valbuena ties up at 4 apiece. Top of the seventh, home run, Nolan Fontana gives the Angels a 5-4 lead. Home run, Chris Young puts the Angels up 6-4. Bottom of the seventh, RBI double, Gene Segura makes it a 6-5 game. Bottom of the eighth, home run, Ryan Haley ties up at 6 apiece. Bottom of the ninth, 2-run walk-off home run, Mitch Haniger, 8-6 Mariners is your final. Marco Gonzalez, 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.42 ERA. Garrett Richards only went 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.42 ERA. I wonder if there was an injury involved there or something. The Astros defeat the Athletics 13-5 as they improve to 44-25. Oakland drops to 34-34. Garrett Cole improves to 8-1. Paul Blackburn drops to 1-1. Top of the first, 2-run single, Yuli Gurriel, 2-0 Astros. Sacrifice by Evan Gattis, 3-0 Astros. Top of the second, they put up a big inning here. 2-run triple, Carlos Correa, 5-0 Astros. RBI single, Yuli Gurriel, 6-0 Astros. 3-run home run, Evan Gattis, 9-0 Astros. Home run, Marvin Gonzalez, 10-0 Astros. Bottom of the fourth, 3-run home run, Stephen Piscotty made it 10-3. Bottom of the sixth, home run, Chris Davis made it 10-4. Top of the seventh, home run, Evan Gattis made it 11-4 Astros. Bottom of the eighth, Chris Davis' second homer of the game makes it 11-5. Top of the ninth, 2-run home run, Jake Marisnick, 13-5 Astros is your final. Garrett Cole, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.40 ERA. Paul Blackburn had his worst start so far of his brief season. An inning in a third, 8 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts, leaves the game with an ugly 11.05 ERA. The Dodgers defeated the Rangers 3-2 in 11 innings as they improved to 35-32. Texas drops to 27-43. Adam Liberatore improves to 2-1. Jesse Chavez drops to 2-1. Bottom of the first, home run, Justin Turner, 1-0 Dodgers. Bottom of the second, a run scores as Logan Forsythe stole second. Yasiel Puig stole third and was scored in on the error by Adrian Beltre. 2-0 Dodgers. Top of the fourth, RBI single, Jurickson Profar makes it a 2-1 game. RBI single, Joey Gallo ties up at 2 apiece. Bottom of the 11th, RBI grounder in the fielder's choice for Austin Barnes. Run scores on an error. 3-2 Dodgers is your final. Kenta Maeda, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout, leaves the game with a 3.61 ERA. Cole Hamels, 6 innings, 5 hits, and a run, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.69 ERA. The story of this game is that there was a gigantic brawl as Yasiel Puig scored. There were tempers flaring, the benches cleared, and that was that. The Nationals defeated the Yankees 5-4 as they improved to 37-28. The Yankees dropped to 43-20. Justin Miller improves to 4-0. Chasen Shreve drops to 2-1. Sean Doolittle gets his 17th save of the year. Top of the first, sacrifice fly, Anthony Rendon, 1-0 Nats. Bottom of the first, sacrifice fly, Aaron Judge ties up at 1 apiece. Bottom of the second, home run, Greg Bird, 2-1 Yanks. Bottom of the third, RBI single, Giancarlo Stanton, 3-1 Yanks. Top of the fourth, 3-run home run, Juan Soto, 4-3 Nats. Bottom of the fifth, home run, Gleyber Torres ties up at 4 apiece. Top of the seventh, home run, Juan Soto, 5-4 Nats. That's your final. Eric Feed, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.91 ERA. Sonny Gray, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout, leaves the game with a 4.98 ERA. The Rockies defeated the Phillies 7-2 as they improved to 33-34. The Phils dropped to 34-31. Tyler Anderson improves to 4-1. Nick Pivetta drops to 4-6. Top of the first, sacrifice fly, Nolan Arenado, 1-0 Rockies. Top of the fourth, RBI double, Trevor Story, 2-0 Rockies. RBI single that drove in 2 for Gerardo Parra, 4-0 Rockies. 2-run home run, Ian Desmond, 6-0 Rockies. Bottom of the fifth, home run, Jorge Alfaro, 6-1. Top of the seventh, RBI double, Trevor Story, 7-1 Rockies. Bottom of the ninth, home run, Hayes Mule Valentine gets the Phillies within 5, but the Rockies hang on the win. Tyler Anderson, 7 innings, 6 hits, an earned run, no walks, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.48 ERA. Nick Pivetta, 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.25 ERA. He has not been good lately. The Tigers defeated the Twins 5-2 as they improved to 32-37. Minnesota drops to 29-35. Joe Jimenez with the win. Addison Reed with the loss. Shane Green gets his 16th save of the year. Top of the first, 2-run single, Eduardo Escobar, 2-0 Twins. Bottom of the first, home run Nico Goodrum makes it 2-1. Bottom of the 8th, RBI single. Grayson Griner ties it up at 2 apiece. Bottom of the 8th, RBI single. Victor Reyes gives the Tigers a 3-2 lead. 2-run single, Leonis Martin put the Tigers up 5-2 for good. Matt Boyd, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.23 ERA. Jose Barrios, 6 innings, 7 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.51 ERA. The Marlins defeated the Giants 5-4 as they improved to 26-42. The Giants dropped to 33-35. Drew Steckenrider with the win. Reyes Moronta with the loss. Top of the first, 2-run home run, Andrew McCutchen, 2-0 Giants. Bottom of the fourth, RBI single, Cam Maben makes it 2-1. Infield single, Lewis Brinson ties up at 2 apiece. Top of the sixth, RBI single, Austin Jackson, 3-2 Giants. Bottom of the sixth, RBI single, Justin Bour ties up at 3 apiece. Top of the seventh, RBI single, Evan Longoria, 4-2 Giants. Bottom of the eighth, RBI double, Justin Bour ties up at 4 apiece. Bottom of the ninth, sacrifice fly, Brian Anderson scores in Miguel Rojas to give the Marlins a 5-4 win. Caleb Smith, 6 in the third innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.75 ERA. Andrew Suarez, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.92 ERA. The White Sox defeated the Indians 3-2 to improve to 24-42. Cleveland drops to 35-31. Dylan Covey improves to 3-1. Trevor Bauer drops to 5-5. Joaquin Soria gets his 10th save of the year. Bottom of the fifth, RBI triple. Charlie Tilson gives the White Sox a 1-0 lead. Sacrifice fly, Trace Thompson, 2-0 Sox. Bottom of the sixth, RBI single. Kayvon Smith gives the White Sox a 3-0 lead. Top of the eighth, RBI single, Edwin Encarnacion makes it 3-1. RBI double, Yonder Alonso makes it 3-2. That's your final. Dylan Covey, 7 innings, 10 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.29 ERA. Trevor Bauer, 7 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.69 ERA. The Reds defeated the Royals 7-0 as they improved to 25-43. The Royals dropped to 22-46. Tyler Mahle improves to 5-6. Jason Hammel drops to 2-7. No scoring until the top of the seventh. Scooter Gennett safe on the error by Alcides Escobar, allowing Jose Peraza to score. 1-0 Reds. RBI ground out Jesse Winker, 2-0 Reds. Top of the eighth, RBI single Jose Peraza, 3-0 Reds. Top of the ninth, grand slam, Adam Duvall, 7-0 Reds. That's your final. Tyler Mahle, 6 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks and a strikeout, leaves the game with a 3.96 ERA. Jason Hammel, 7 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.89 ERA. The Padres defeated the Cardinals 4-2 as they improved to 33-37. The Cardinals dropped to 36-30. Eric Lauer improves to 3-4. Luke Weaver drops to 3-6. Brad Hand gets his 21st save of the year. Top of the first, RBI double that drove in 2 for Freddie Galvis, 2-0 Padres. Top of the sixth, RBI triple, Manuel Margot, 3-0 Padres. RBI single, Rafael Lopez, 4-0 Padres. Bottom of the sixth, 2-run home run, Marcell Ozuna made it 4-2. That was your final. Eric Lauer, 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 6.2 ERA. Luke Weaver, 5 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.52 ERA. Today's games, you have at 12 o'clock, Giants-Marlins. Derek Rodriguez against Dan Straley. 1 o'clock, Rockies-Phillies. Herman Marquez and Vince Velasquez. Twins-Tigers. Lance Lynn and Michael Fulmer. 2 o'clock, Indians-White Sox. Mike Clevenger and Carlos Rodon. 3:30, Astros-Athletics. Justin Verlander and Frankie Montas. Rays-Yankees, FS1 tonight. Blake Snell and Domingo Germán get to pick this game because it's a national game. It'll be Michael Kay and Brian Anderson on the call. Obviously, Michael Kay, the Yankee play-by-play man, and Brian Anderson, the Rays color commentator. There's 3 Brian Andersons involved in Major League Baseball. You have the play-by-play announcer of the Milwaukee Brewers and for TBS, You have the Rays analyst, and you have the player on the Miami Marlins. So 3 Brian Andersons in baseball. That's funny. Give me the Yankees to bounce back and take a win. I'm going to say Blake Snell pitches okay, but the Yankee lineup wears him out, and he doesn't get run support. So let's say 4-3 Yankees as that bullpen locks down the win. The Yankee bullpen's been tremendous of late. So let's say 4-3 Yankees. They bounce back from a disappointing loss last night that they could have easily won that game against the Nationals. 7:30, you have the Padres and the Braves. Tyson Ross and Anibal Sanchez. 9:40, Mets Diamondbacks, Jason Vargas and Matt Koch. 10 o'clock, Red Sox Mariners. That is the best game on the board. David Price and Felix Hernandez, but the pitching matchup would have been much better a couple of years ago. U.S. Open, I'm going to give you my predictions real quick on who I think the top 5 will be. This is kind of going chalk, but not really, because the order's different from a Las Vegas standpoint with the odds. But I am picking the favorite to win, and that's Dustin Johnson. He's had a good year in golf. Second place, I think, will be Rory McIlroy. Third, Justin Rose. Fourth, Justin Thomas. And fifth, Ricky Fowler. I think Tiger Woods will be in the hunt, but I think he'll fall apart late. Now I'm going to do my picks for the 2 World Cup games today. In about 10 minutes from now, you have the first game, and that is Russia against Saudi Arabia. Give me Russia. I picked them to win Group A, so give me Russia to win this game today. And then bright and early tomorrow morning, you have Egypt and Uruguay. It's on at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to be doing my podcast that early so I can pick that game, so I'm just going to pick it on today's podcast. Give me Uruguay. They, I think, have a chance to win Group A, but I picked Russia to win Group A. I think Uruguay's the favorite, but I decided to go off the board with my pick a little bit. I do think Uruguay will be in the knockout round as your Group A runner-up. So give me Russia for today's game, and bright and early tomorrow morning's game, give me Uruguay. All right, now I'm going to do my NBA mock draft. This is going to be my 8th mock draft, the second one I'm doing this week, because the draft is exactly a week away. I can't wait. There's going to be trades abound. There's going to be rumors abound. It's going to be fun. And I don't do trades in my mock drafts, so let's get going with the mock draft. Number 1, Phoenix Suns. DeAndre Ayton, center, Arizona. I had Luka Doncic here once, but this is not changing. Ayton is perhaps the draft's best prospect due to his size, soft touch at the rim, and his promising jump shot. He's drawn comparisons to Joel Embiid and Patrick Ewing, and the Suns, who really don't have a long-term true center, won't want to pass up on him. 2, Sacramento Kings. Marvin Bagley, big man from Duke. Bagley could very well end up the best player from this draft class. He has great athleticism and can shoot it from 3, and it would be interesting to see what the Kings would do with Willie Cauley-Stein if they were to pick Bagley or Jaren Jackson Jr. over Luka Doncic. There are also rumors that the Kings can take Michael Porter Jr. second overall. 3, Atlanta Hawks. Jaren Jackson Jr., the big man from Michigan State. Jackson is a bit of a wild card in this lottery portion of the draft, considering he exceeded expectations as a freshman in college and played his way to this position. Although he struggled in the big dance, his rim protecting as well as his perimeter game were excellent. 4, Memphis Grizzlies. Luka Doncic, the guard from Real Madrid. Doncic will be the most proven player in the draft due to his success overseas. He's an ideal fit for the perimeter-oriented league and should have a long, productive NBA career. There are reports out there that Doncic does not want to play in Sacramento, so don't be shocked if Doncic drops this far. 5, Dallas Mavericks. Mohamed Bamba, the center from Texas. Bamba doesn't have much an offensive game, but his defensive presence with his height and shot blocking should appeal to any team. Bamba would learn from Dirk Nowitzki for at least one, if not multiple seasons, and Rick Carlisle would love somebody like Bamba on his team. 6, Orlando Magic. Michael Porter Jr., the forward from Missouri. Although Porter barely played college basketball, he's still worth picking at 6. Porter has great offensive skill set and good three-point range, but questions range about his mobility. The Magic can use somebody like Porter who has versatility and have a need for versatile forwards. 7. Chicago Bulls. Trae Young, the point guard from Oklahoma. Young's stock is trending up, and the Bulls may not think Chris Dunn is a starting point guard in this league, so they go with Young, who is very polarizing because of how his season went and how defenses started to figure him out during conference play. That said, he has a Stephen Curry type of ceiling, and the Bulls may not pass up on that. 8. The Cleveland Cavaliers from the Brooklyn Nets via the Boston Celtics. Wendell Carter Jr., the big man from Duke. The Caps can go multiple directions with this pick, but let's slate Carter in this spot. Carter is very overshadowed on the Blue Devils due to his teammates, but his defense is excellent and he provides spacing on the floor. Carter can certainly replace Kevin Love if they decide to move on from him. 9. New York Knicks. Mikal Bridges, the small forward from Villanova. Bridges took a massive leap this year for the Wildcats. Due to his 3-and-D capability, Bridges is one of the draft's safest bets. The Knicks pretty much have needs everywhere on their roster, and Bridges would be a nice fit with Kristaps Porzingis once he comes back from his ACL surgery. 10. Philadelphia 76ers from the Los Angeles Lakers via the Phoenix Suns. Lonnie Walker, guard, Miami. Walker didn't have the greatest freshman season due to him coming off the meniscus tear, which provided an interesting case for him to return to Miami for his sophomore season. That said, Walker is worth taking in this spot due to his pure talent and potential. 11. Charlotte Hornets. Miles Bridges, small forward, Michigan State. Although Bridges might end up being a small ball power forward in the future due to his average ball handling, he is a great shooter on the wing and provides great athleticism. Bridges would be a nice fit on this rebuilding Hornets team as they can view him as a building block. 12. Los Angeles Clippers from the Detroit Pistons. Colin Sexton, point guard, Alabama. Sexton at this spot would be a steal for the Clippers. He's super fast, super quick, and forever aggressive, all of which are great qualities for anybody entering the league. He puts pressure on the defense basically every possession. 13. Los Angeles Clippers. Kevin Knox, small forward, Kentucky. Knox hasn't been consistent as a shooter as the Wildcats had hoped, but he still projects as a solid defender and can rebound very well. If he develops a shot, he can end up as a rotation piece for the Clippers. 14. Denver Nuggets. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, guard, Kentucky. Gilgeous-Alexander's stock has trended up after he had a great season for the Wildcats. He has great size and finishing craft, defensive versatility, and maybe even quickness. Gilgeous-Alexander would be a nice piece for the Nuggets, who need more depth at the guard positions, especially if they lose Will Barton in free agency. 15. Washington Wizards. Robert Williams, the big man from Texas A&M. Williams could have been a lottery pick last year, but decided to come back to school for one more season. Williams isn't known for his offense, but he's great at rebounding and defending the rim. He could be a poor man's DeAndre Jordan. 6. Phoenix Suns from the Miami Heat. Zaire Smith, shooting guard, Texas Tech. Smith's stock is trending upwards with a week to go until the draft. He went from a 3-star recruit to a likely first-round pick thanks to elite athleticism and ultra-aggressive two-way play in college. His freshman season was full of high-rate real plays with tip dunks and chase-down blocks becoming nightly occurrences. 17. Milwaukee Bucks. Aaron Holiday, point guard, UCLA. Holiday's stock is trending upward with a week ago until the draft. He's one of my sleepers and is a great scorer and shooter, especially from distance, and can hold his own defensively, but he isn't great at getting in the paint. 18. San Antonio Spurs. Troy Brown, wing, Oregon. Brown is an interesting prospect considering that he had a solid season at Oregon, but has a reputation of disappearing in games. Brown's size and ball handling ability is what makes him worth a selection at the spot, and a destination like the Spurs would be nice for Brown. 19. Atlanta Hawks from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kevin Huerter, wing, Maryland. Huerter is a fast riser on people's mock boards, although he just got hand surgery that could hurt his draft stock. Huerter is one of the draft's top shooters, but he's also a multi-dimensional wing for his underrated playmaking ability. 20. Minnesota Timberwolves from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Dante DiVincenzo, shooting guard, Villanova. DiVincenzo broke out in a major way at the Combine and forfeited the strong impression he left in March and over the course of Villanova's season. It's clear he is not a flash in the pan, as his consistent level of focus, instincts for forcing turnovers and grabbing rebounds, and the ability for him to hit open jumpers built in a degree of safety. 21. Utah Jazz. Kyrie Thomas, shooting guard, Creighton. Thomas is interesting because he doesn't have much upside. What Thomas does have, though, is two-way presence with great shooting and perimeter defending. This pick would be a solid one for the Jazz, and he would probably come off the bench for them. 22. Chicago Bulls from the New Orleans Pelicans. Chandler Hutchinson, small forward, Boise State. Hutchinson is one of my sleepers in this draft class. He isn't a great shooter, but has a nice all-around game with his ability to attack the rim, rebounding, and he's a solid off-the-ball defender. 23. Indiana Pacers. Josh Okogie, shooting guard, Georgia Tech. Okogie's stock is soaring with a week to go until the draft. He's had great workouts and a good showing at the Combine, and a team like the Pacers could use him and his good three-point shooting off their bench. 24. Portland Trail Blazers. Jacob Evans, shooting guard, small forward, Cincinnati. Evans' upside is limited, though, because he's an erratic shooter and isn't aggressive at the rim. His defense is his strength, and he can guard both wing positions very well. 25. Los Angeles Lakers from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mitchell Robinson, center from Chalmette High School in Los Angeles. This pick would be considered a steal, considering that Robinson has the talent of a lottery pick. He had a year off from competitive basketball and has no experience beyond high school. Robinson provides athleticism and shot blocking, which will intrigue teams, although there are questions about what else he can provide. 26. Philadelphia 76ers. Eli Okobo, point guard, France. Okobo has suddenly become one of the draft's most fascinating prospects, particularly after going for 44 points on 17 shots in a Pro A playoff game a few weeks ago, which rose his draft stock dramatically. The Sixers could use a backup guard to come off the bench, and he could provide that. 27. Boston Celtics. Zanon Musa, small forward, Latvia. Musa is an intriguing international prospect that is motivated to play in the league. He's a great scorer on the wing, and his playmaking skills are improving. The Celtics can afford to go the draft and stash route if they would like to with Musa. 28. Golden State Warriors. Jalen Brunson, point guard, Villanova. Brunson has shown first-round potential throughout his time in college. The Warriors could use more point guard depth with Sean Livingston aging, although Quinn Cook has shown some promise. 29. Brooklyn Nets from the Toronto Raptors. Keita Bates-Diop, power forward, Ohio State. Bates-Diop had an outstanding junior collegiate season. What hurts him is his lack of athleticism, but his season cannot be ignored due to his outstanding shooting and providing matchup problems for the opposition. 30. Atlanta Hawks from the Houston Rockets via the Los Angeles Clippers. DeAnthony Melton, shooting guard, USC. Melton was held out the entire season by the Trojans following the program's role in the FBI investigation. What they missed was a bulldog defender and a skilled passer who found ways to impact the game even without a dependable jump shot. He has a Swiss Army knife type of skill set that would fit well on any bench. That's it for the mock draft, and now, what you guys have been waiting for. My NBA off-season predictions with a week ago until the draft. I'm doing them now in case there are moves before the draft, in which the last couple years, there have been moves before the draft. Jimmy Butler was traded before the draft last year. I remember the Hawks and the Pacers and the Jazz made a trade that involved Jeff Teague in it before the draft a couple years ago as well. And let's get going. The Atlanta Hawks. I think they'll absorb Ryan Anderson's atrocious contract from the Houston Rockets with 2 future first-round picks. The Houston Rockets will make this move believing that they have a real shot at landing LeBron James or Paul George this summer. And the Hawks are a team with some cap space and will be willing to do that favor for that contender in Houston. The Boston Celtics. They'll trade Terry Rozier in the 27th pick to move up to Indiana's spot for the 23rd pick. The Celtics want to move up and get a nice player because they may lose some players via free agency like a Marcus Smart. Maybe Kyrie Irving leaves in a year to go to the Knicks. That is widely to be rumored. So I think the Celtics move up to try to get a better asset by trading Terry Rozier in the 27th pick to Indiana for the 23rd pick. The Brooklyn Nets will absorb Hassan Whiteside's contract for another first-rounder. Hassan Whiteside proved to be a flash in the pan with the Miami Heat. He was dreadful this past season, and I could totally see Miami dumping him with a first-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets, because that's what the Nets typically would do. Charlotte Hornets, they'll draft Miles Bridges. I think it's a given. Bridges and the Hornets make sense in the most sense, like to the point where I'd be shocked if Miles Bridges wasn't drafted by the Hornets unless they trade the pick or move down. The Chicago Bulls signed Jabari Parker as a restricted free agent. I think they'll overwhelm him with an offer, and the Milwaukee Bucks won't match. Parker hasn't proven to be the fit in Milwaukee as they had hoped, so I can see a team like the Chicago Bulls overpaying for Jabari Parker and taking a chance with him. The Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James leaves this summer, and they trade Kevin Love. I think both of those things seem inevitable. The Dallas Mavericks trades their 2019 first-rounder and Wesley Matthews for DeMar DeRozan. I think the Mavericks want to win, and win now, and have a little window before Dirk Nowitzki retires. So I can see them trading Wesley Matthews' contract and the 2019 first-rounder for DeMar DeRozan. And I almost predicted another trade for them, but I didn't love it, and the guy that I'm going to mention for another team makes sense for another team rather than the Mavericks, and I'll explain why. The Denver Nuggets will max out Nikola Jokic. That seems inevitable to me. The Pistons. Andre Drummond gets traded to the Lakers for Kyle Kuzma, the 24th pick, and Luol Deng. This trade makes a lot of sense for both sides. The Lakers get their center that they lack with Brook Lopez being a free agent, and I don't think he's the long-term answer. Drummond had his best season as a pro last year, so the Pistons take advantage of his trade value and get a nice young power forward in Kuzma in return, the 24th pick, and they can draft somebody like Mitchell Robinson with that pick, and they absorb Luol Deng's contract, and this would be a monster win for the Los Angeles Lakers, in my opinion. I almost said Drummond to Dallas, but I think this Lakers trade made more sense. The Golden State Warriors brings back everybody except for Kevin Looney. Kevin Looney is a free agent. I think somebody overpays for him, but I think they bring back the same core. There's talks about Durant leaving. There's talks about them trading Draymond Green because he won't accept a contract extension. Klay Thompson's entering a contract year. There's every reason to think that they can blow up their core, with the exception of Stephen Curry, but they won't do it. They just won the title. The only piece of significance that they'll lose is Kevin Looney, if you even consider him a significant piece, because he provided some good minutes for them while Andre Iguodala was out in the playoffs this past season. The Houston Rockets, they bring back Clint Capella and Trevor Ariza as they strike out on LeBron James, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. I included Kawhi Leonard on the Rockets list because I think they want to trade for him if they can't get LeBron James or Paul George. But I just don't see the Spurs trading with their in-state rival. So I think the Rockets bring the band back together as they go for it again to beat Golden State. They came very close because Chris Paul, if he wasn't hurt, they probably win that series. Chris Paul is the best player in that series in Games 4 and in Game 5, although he got hurt in Game 5. So I'm going to say Houston rightfully brings back the same core. And they should. Because although I think their window's closing with Chris Paul as he's getting older, the move for them is to bring back the same core because of how close they were. Indiana, I think they trade Miles Turner. I think they have a lot of young assets. They eventually have to pay Victor Oladipo. I think they like Domantas Sabonis. So I think Turner has the most value among their two young bigs. So they'll trade him somewhere to get an asset or a few back. And I'll say that on other team's bold prediction. Not going to give that away. The Clippers. I have two for them. I think they trade 12 and 13 to move up to 6. Perhaps to draft Michael Porter Jr. Also, I have them trading their 2019 first-round pick, and that's if they even own it. If they don't own that pick, then it'll be a 2020 or 2021 first-round pick, plus Tobias Harris for Kevin Love. I think that LeBron leaves, so the Cavs sort of blow up their roster a little bit and get what they can for Love. A 2019 first-round pick in Tobias Harris is a nice package for Kevin Love, and maybe they can flip Harris again as they endure a little bit of a rebuild and try to get as many picks as possible. Then I wanted to pick Kevin Love in 8 for 12, 13, and a 2019 first-rounder and Tobias Harris all together, but I didn't love that at all. So I did two separate predictions for the Clippers. Los Angeles Lakers sign Paul George. I think that's inevitable. Paul George always wanted to be a Laker, so I think he'll sign there. This feels like the Carmelo Anthony situation all over again, except the Lakers didn't make the mistake the Knicks made, which is trading a lot of assets to get that player. But at the same time, I don't blame the Knicks for making the trade at the time because they were desperate. And let's face it, Carmelo Anthony pretty much forced his way to New York. Memphis Grizzlies. I think they'll draft a guard with the 4th overall pick, whether it's Luka Doncic if he drops, or Trae Young if he's there. Miami Heat. Hassan Whiteside traded with a first-rounder attached to the Brooklyn Nets. I mentioned that for the Nets prediction. I also think that they'll also be in the hunt for Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, and Paul George, but they'll strike out on all those guys. And they'll look at other things, and maybe they'll look at Kevin Love. But I think, not only do I think they trade Hassan Whiteside, but I think they'll be in the mix for the big fish in free agency and in trades. Milwaukee. I think Chris Middleton's name will pop up in trade rumors. Not that Middleton's a bad fit with Giannis, but I can see his name being floated out there in trade rumors. I'm not calling a Middleton trade, but I think his name will be mentioned in trade rumors. This is one of my favorite ones, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Andrew Wiggins is traded with the 20th pick in the draft in a package deal to the Portland Trailblazers for C.J. McCollum. I love this fantasy trade. Portland gets to absorb Wiggins' somewhat hideous contract along with the 20th pick. So they'll have 2 picks in the first round, and maybe they'll parlay those 2 picks and move up. And the Timberwolves get McCollum, who I think would be a nice fit alongside Jimmy Butler. You move Butler back to small forward, and a core of McCollum, Towns, and Butler would be nice, and certainly a top 4 in the West. New Orleans Pelicans re-signed DeMarcus Cousins on a 2-year deal with an option. I think Boogie gets a short-term deal because he's coming off the ACL injury, and I think New Orleans brings him back because I think they'll be somewhat desperate. New York. A ton of rumors about trading the number 9 and Frankie Ntilikina to either move up or to get in the mix for one of these big-name players on the market like a Kawhi Leonard. But they ultimately stay at 9 and pick a solid player. Oklahoma City Thunder. Paul George leaves, Melo opts in, and it will lead to trade rumors surrounding Russell Westbrook. Orlando Magic. They bring back Aaron Gordon as they match somebody's offer sheet. And they trade back with the Clippers to get picks 12 and 13. The Philadelphia 76ers. Here's where it gets real. They sign LeBron James away from Cleveland, and they trade for Kawhi Leonard, and will have a core with LeBron, Kawhi, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. Holy cow. That would be incredible. And that certainly becomes the favorite in the Eastern Conference. And maybe co-favorites with the Warriors for the championship. Well, co-favorites with the Warriors and the Rockets, I should say. The Phoenix Suns draft DeAndre Ayton despite late rumors about them trading the pick or picking somebody else at 1. Because that always seems to be the case in drafts in any sport about a team changing their mind. But then again, it came into fruition in the NFL this year, although with the hot rumor of them drafting Baker Mayfield, them being the Browns, and then they ultimately drafted Baker Mayfield. And then there was rumors in baseball draft this year that the Tigers were going to take Joey Bart over Casey Mize, but they ultimately went with Mize. So I think the same case is going to be here. There's going to be rumors about them trading the pick or picking somebody else, and ultimately they stay at 1 and pick Ayton. Portland. I already mentioned the C.J. McCollum trade to Minnesota for Wiggins and the 20th pick. I also think they'll sign DeAndre Jordan away from the Los Angeles Clippers in free agency. I don't know how they'll figure out a way to make it work with the cap, because I have them taking on Andrew Wiggins' contract. And they'd have 3 pretty big contracts. But let's say that they sign Jordan but don't overpay him, and it's going to be a short-term deal. Sacramento Kings stay at 2 and draft Marvin Bagley, and Willie Cauley-Stein gets traded. Yes, there'll be rumors about Sacramento moving down. Yes, there'll be rumors about Sacramento doing something stupid, like picking Mo Bamba over Bagley, or Jaren Jackson Jr. over Bagley. But Bagley is the pick. I think he's the best player in the draft. And I think they'll trade Willie Cauley-Stein somewhere. San Antonio Spurs. Kawhi Leonard traded to Philadelphia for the number 10 pick, their 2019 first-round pick, Robert Covington, and Dario Saric. I think that's a nice package for San Antonio. They get a nice wing player in Covington, a nice forward in Saric that can play center and shoot threes. They get a lottery pick, and they get Philadelphia's first-round pick in 2019, which may not be that great of a pick. Toronto Raptors. DeMar DeRozan traded to Dallas. I already said that for the Mavericks. Utah Jazz trades the 21st pick plus Alec Burks to Indiana for Miles Turner. This makes a ton of sense. Utah's going to lose Derek Favors in free agency. You plug Miles Turner right in at the 4. They'll play in a front court with Rudy Gobert, and a nice core of Miles Turner, Gobert, and Donovan Mitchell would be fun to watch. And the 21st pick in Alec Burks is nice value for a young asset like Turner, if you're Indiana. Washington trades the 15th pick for Willie Cauley-Stein. I think that's a win for Sacramento. And if you're Washington, would you rather have a proven commodity in Willie Cauley-Stein, or a somewhat proven commodity, or the 15th pick and pick Robert Williams, who can turn out to be a bust? So this is a little bit risky if you're both teams, but I think that's a trade that somewhat makes sense because Washington needs a long-term center with Marcin Gortat's contract up this year. All right, that's it for the offseason predictions, and that's it for today's podcast. I'll be back tomorrow doing an NHL mock draft, going over all the baseball and the FIFA. Russia actually leads 1-0 over Saudi Arabia right now. And I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.